Hello friends! I worked on animations a little bit more today, and so now you can actually add them. So I'm going to add one to this top heading. Swoop! There it is. I'm going to, just so we make sure everything's still working, add a 1 second-ish delay and have it just fade in without doing anything special. So there it is, fades on in. Yesterday I talked a little bit about this threshold and how it didn't matter or wasn't something you could do anything with. Now I can, now that you can add an animation, so I want to add something on the bottom of the screen. So first I'm going to make everything really tall so that we have some scrolling on the actual screen happening. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layout box. And inside of that layout box, I'm going to add a heading. And so for the layout box, I need some things to be centered and centered. I know these are still justified content, align items, those are still really confusing, so I'm going to work on that. And here's the heading. I also want to add some vertical padding on there so that it looks a little bit more like this is a special section of heading. And then I can add an animation to the actual heading, and we'll have it more or less just fade in, and I'm going to adjust this threshold. So for now, I'm going to make the threshold 0, and then when I check out, so now that's going to hopefully mean when we scroll down, as something comes into view, it's going to trigger the animation. So this is threshold 0, which means as soon as any part of it gets on the screen. So there it is. The problem is I have a delay on there, so that's still a little confusing. So we'll say no delay. It'll pop in as soon as we scroll. So here we go. And it's already there because we already did this. It's already there because the animation triggered like while I was probably up close to right here when the bottom of these columns were on the screen. That's when the animation triggered. So I'm going to set the threshold to be a little bit more. We'll say that it's got to be about 0.9. So 90% of this heading needs to be in the screen before it's going to do anything. So, real quick, scroll up a little bit. So moving down, this is about where the heading should be, and then it peaks in right when we get to the bottom there. Okay, so animations are addable. Eventually maybe I'll probably make an element that's just like a fade-in header on top of a background, and then that could be something that you would use at the top of any kind of website. So we'll see how we continue on with that. Some problems, always bugs. I haven't done anything with this set as default and clear. Since animations are still a little bit different from something like a heading or a paragraph or a box, these buttons don't really make as much sense, or I'm going to need to do some changing around to the code to make sure that they all still work as they should. But right now you just click them and they don't do anything. So not a terribly destructive bug, just confusing and you don't know what's going on. But animations are added, so that's cool. I did dig in a little bit on how to make the animation re-trigger itself whenever you change any prop. Didn't make a ton of progress, so we'll continue on with that tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. But thanks for following along. See you later.